Hi Aries, this is your general tarot reading for Aries Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of December. Aries, let's do as we always do. We'll shuffle the cards and wait on all the right ones to come out for you, my love. And in the meantime, let's talk about the energies that you may feel throughout the month. So, we're leaving November, entering December, still feeling the effect of the full moon that happened in Gemini in your third house of communications. And what this could have meant for you, Aries, is that there was finally a moment where you were able to say something very clearly and very precisely that needed to be said, maybe to somebody about some situation. You found finally the right words to just come out and say something to somebody. So your heart and your mind were connected to the words that were coming out of your mouth. And I think that was a very powerful thing to happen for you, because I think you needed to have some conversation with somebody to say how you feel, to speak your mind, have your say in some way. So that was important. But also the other thing that could have happened here too is there may have been some fears or doubts or concerns around somebody who is, you know, one of those type of people that can twist words and play tricks with words, maybe even play mind games. That if you say something powerfully and deep from the heart, something that you want to express, something that you want to just get out there into the open, they'll say, well, what did you mean by that? Why did you say that? It's your problem. I mean, you're the one that's all emotional. That must mean it's your problem. So there was a mind trickery going on, and certainly word trickery. But the good news is that the full moon has taught you the lesson of how to figure that out. So it could be a moment where you have literally gone into the logical mind here, rooted out some deep kind of gameplay of your own perhaps, and said, I know now how to tackle that person. The next time I meet them, or the next time they say something to me, the next time they challenge me or try to dump shit on me, I'll know exactly what to do. And it won't be to just make them back off, it will be to slap them back down. So there's great power in this too, great power. Because you see, Mercury on the 1st of December is retrograding in Scorpio. Now it does go direct on the 6th of December. But the 8th house is this, where the mind is at. And for you, Aries, the mind is on very taboo things, very deep things, maybe even psychic things, esoteric things, anything that's hidden, anything that's just scratched beneath the surface and you get to see the real truth of something. So your mind is on that. So a few things could be happening here. It seems that the first thing you want to do is build up some sort of resistance to other people's effect on you, like I just said, with their words, with the way they twist words and turn things. You're now building up slowly a game plan to know how to face that if that comes. And it's interesting because that game plan, it applies to other people, but it also applies to you. There's a master plan at work here, and I'll explain why. Mercury, the great logical one, the one who has great ability to strategize, is in this 8th house in Scorpio of looking beneath the surface and finding out the true motives of another person, the true depths of another person. While at the same time, Mars has foreseen what's happening this month, and he's gone into the 12th house, as we spoke about last month, and he is ready to challenge any of the deep hurts that come up from you. So while your mind is on this thing of weeding out situations, focusing deeply on people's responses to you, the give and take between you and other people, seeing if you're getting a bit of a balance going on between you and other people somehow, you know, seeing if you're giving lots of love or lots of money or lots of time, effort to anything, are you getting that back in the right way? So you're figuring out what is the energetic balance going on between what you're giving to other people and what they're giving in return, okay? So Mars then is also there seeing, well, what is the relationship between what's deep down inside you, the shadow and hidden things, and what's going to come up, because Mars is going to tackle whatever it is that's coming up from the 12th house. So it's like you've lots of layers going on, where you're strategizing how to deal with other people, but also you're in league with Mars, your ruler, who is strategizing how to deal with some of the big hurts that might be coming up last month and again this month. Now, what would those hurts be? What would interest Mars? Well, Mars is always interested in being free, to have his own authority. He's independent. He doesn't let anything take his power, and he doesn't let anything become an obstacle in his life. And the 12th house obstacles are the fears that we've accumulated over the years, where other people have robbed our independence, robbed our power. Now, this could go way, way back to times when we were younger within our family, when we were in school, when we were with our first love, or so on like that. It's Mars noticing all the areas where you were disempowered. So what could be happening this month, Aries, is that you might get a lot of things coming to your mind, which is interesting that the first and only card so far that's coming out is about reminiscing about the past. So you could have dreams, or in your quiet time when you're just not thinking of anything at all, you might just suddenly think of a person who did you wrong, or a situation where you were humiliated, embarrassed, or lessened in some way. And these are all coming up, so don't say, why am I thinking of that now? Years later, it means nothing to me. Well, it does mean something to you, because what happens is, when we go through these pains at whatever age that we don't know how to deal with them at the time, they seem enormous. So as time goes on, we forget the details, we forget why it happened. It's not important. And when you look back and replay the details, you say, oh, that was stupid. But the feeling isn't stupid. The feeling was huge, and it stayed lodged somewhere in you, as it does to everybody. It's not just you, Aries. This is the norm. This is a very normal thing to happen. And these are the things that are coming up. So it's a very unusual month for you, Aries, because it's uncovering secrets, uncovering stuff deep in yourself that are challenging you, uncovering secrets in other people that might challenge you. You're really on some great big journey this month to find out who and what stands against you. And you are going to break apart those who stand against you, including some of the things that happened to you and left an indelible mark on you from the past. So it is a powerful time, very powerful. Now, the other thing I'll say here, Aries, if you do find that you are hearing lots of secrets or vibing out secrets that other people just aren't tuned into about other people, show caution here. If you are in that energy where you have secrets, the energy of Sagittarius, you have the Sun, Jupiter, and then Mercury on the 12th of December in Sagittarius. Sagittarius tends to blurt things out sometimes. Sometimes they can be very direct and to the point. They'll just say it and get it out there. I'd like you to watch that, Aries, just in case you come across somebody else's very deep secret and accidentally share it out to other people. You could do a bit of damage there, so be cautious of that. And it might be done under the influence of alcohol, with Mars in Pisces, for those of you who imbibe in a glass of wine or two, or some other drugs, altered states, anything like that. You might come across some secrets, and just show caution. And I'll say this too, with Mercury there at the start of the month in the 8th house, people might come to you and start telling you their deepest wounds and their deepest secrets just out of the blue. And what you might be very tempted to do, Aries, is you know when somebody brings a conversation to a certain level, you feel that somehow, just to be empathetic and sympathetic to what they're saying, that you should also be on that same level to keep the conversation on a vibe. And what you might find is that somebody throws out a bunch of stuff, deep hurts, deep pains, deep secrets. And you say, oh, don't worry about that. You think that's bad. I remember a time when I did blah, 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 blah. And afterwards, afterwards you say, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have told them that, I wasn't even drinking, I was as sober as a judge. Why? It was because altered states can also be brought through certain vibes between certain people when another person is either very emotional, very upset, or very deeply involved in a crisis too, an emotional crisis. So just be cautious. Hold your own counsel. Don't be so quick to share your secrets and indeed to share other people's secrets, because you're building up this big reputation, Aries, and I don't want to see that knocked down like that. Now, I'll also say the 8th house energy is very sexual and intimate. This could be a time for those of you in a relationship to really say, look, I don't want to be the tame little lamb Aries here. I want to be the wild, unfettered Aries here. I want to go for this. I don't want to be all sweet and vanilla anymore. Let's have an argument. Let's bring proper balance back to this relationship. Yeah, Venus there always wants to bring balance. 8th house Scorpio wants to dig deep. So it could be a moment where you're saying, I don't want to do this compromise superficiality, can you pass the bread at the dinner table type of relationship. I want the depth, I want the feeling, I want the passion, I want the thunder. And I'm prepared to bring those rolling clouds in and cause thunder in order to clear the air. After a good electric storm, there's nothing better than the air being cleared. And I think after a good storm, a good intimate storm, there's nothing better, because it may clear the air finally. Yeah, you might feel that vibe. And also for those of you looking for love or just out there on the dating scene, you're really now needing somebody to step up. You don't want kind of polite conversation, you want something more. You want something really meaningful, physical, intimate. And you're not prepared to settle for anything less. Because Aries, I was tuning into your energy before I did the reading, and I did feel this, this card came out, a type of brooding, which this card might signify that you've been trapped and tamed, held in for too long, not being able to get out there and be the fiery, thunderous Aries. And you're saying, I can't contain this anymore. I've got to break free from this. And you're feeling it. You're feeling a good argument needs to clear the air. Deep, meaningful sex or lots of intimacy. Talking to somebody on a very, very deep level. Talking about almost forbidden subjects. This is what's needed for you to purge it's like a thunder in you, Aries. It's like this fire, these fumes have to come out. So if that energy is around you, I'd say know that that's what it is. It's a lot of inner work and a lot of outer work happening for you. But learn how to direct this properly. Certainly, as I said to you before, make sure that you don't do anything that destroys your wonderful reputation that you have been building. So this is the festive season, so it could be a time, Aries, where you are going to office work parties or office dinners or celebrations of some kind like that. Again, show caution for those of you who take a glass of champagne or two. Things could come out in these places where if you don't handle it right, you could lose face. So just show caution. When they bring the tray of flaming sambuca and your eyes light up, show caution, Aries, please, 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 please. Try to keep a level of consciousness that you're aware. That's all I'll say to you. That's all I can say, really. Now, all of this, why is all of this happening? Why is all this brooding fire energy coming up? Feeling that it's you against others, feeling that it's you against the inner voices, feeling that it's you slaying anybody who stands in your way as an obstacle. A lot of it is to do with what the Sun and Jupiter are in there doing, and Mercury on the 12th of December. And that is to expand this vision of your new horizon, The ninth house wants you to open up your life, wants you to go on adventures, wants you to explore, wants to remove you from your safe place, wants to change everything that's familiar and bring you to things that are completely different, culturally different, ideologically different, spiritually different, in order to change your vision radically. And in order for you to believe, you see, ninth house is believing in your vision. So what all the energy is trying to support you, having a plan not to let anybody and their crisis and their shit and their lack of support, perhaps even at times, to tackle or bring down this new vision you're creating. Instead, you're saying, if you're with me and if you want to be part of my new vision, then you help me. You act as a resource for me. Support me. If I need your physical support, help me with your time. If you have something that I can borrow, perhaps you can help me with that. If you have money to invest in my project or invest in my vision, invest in my life, perhaps you can help me with that. If you're not helping me, then you're an obstacle. And that's really the energy here. You're looking at that, and also the inner stuff, as I said. If things crop up from the past, replaying old humiliations or old disempowerment situations, say, if this is not helping me now with my future, then it's an obstacle. And I have to just drop it and let it go and just say, that was then, this is now, it doesn't bother me. I have a future to go into, and I have a big plan, and I'm going for it. And I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. Now, we have the new moon on December 7th in the ninth house again. Keep these great intentions going, because you are bringing about this newness, this new adventure, the new drive and optimism for your future that we've spoken about before. The new sense that opportunities are everywhere. The new sense that if I believe in this strong enough, it will happen. Anything is possible. It will happen. And on the new moon, really go for that. Really start trusting that these new opportunities and adventures can come, and actively encourage them from the new moon onwards to come into your life. How? Well, if you want to move abroad, actively start looking at, how you can get visas for the country that you want to move to, or how you can get travel documents together. If you want to study, go into university, get higher education. See, can I get a grant? How do I get a loan? How do I do this? Is that, you know what I mean? Actively start doing practical work to draw these new experiences towards you. Yeah, you should do that. Now we have the sun going into Capricorn on the 21st of December. So this is your career place, and the place where you are also somebody who's responsible, where you take responsibility for your life and maybe responsibility for other things, other people, maybe responsibilities within the family. And you might find that there's some good energy happening there within your career, within wherever it is that you're holding responsibilities. Some good vibes coming there. But it's kind of tricky, Aries, because Capricorn, and then with the full moon on the 22nd of December in Cancer, it's issues that could come up where the balance between your responsibilities and your home life, your privacy, are kind of a little bit challenged. Maybe they need to be brought into a bit of balance here. Have you been taking on far too many responsibilities that didn't give you enough privacy, didn't give you enough time to yourself, didn't give you enough time with your family? And this is something that does get addressed towards the end of the month, say from around the 21st onwards. But you do figure it out. Around the 22nd, you do figure out how to get more at peace with yourself, get back in touch with your emotions, get back in touch with your needs and your desires. You'll say to yourself, well, it's all well and good to work so hard, or it's all well and good to be so responsible and to be super organized and be super reliable. There has to be a moment here where I get what I need, where I'm able to sit back and say, I don't have to wake up in the morning for anybody. I don't have to do this for anybody. I just have to listen to what I need and want. So it's a nice period there. Now, Aries, we're waiting on 4 cards that just don't seem to be coming. So I'm going to choose them if you don't mind. So here we go. The Magician. There certainly is magic in the air for you, Aries. The Star. Magic, hope, optimism, wishes for the future. Yeah, I see one of the wishes for the future is new money. I get it, Aries, new money, but I think you're doing okay financially because I see money cards here. And your last card, very Neptunian card, the King of Cups, yeah. So, Aries, let's do this thing. Let's go over to the big grand, ta-da, overview and have a look. So, we begin with this card, the Six of Cups, which is actually a Scorpio card, and it's a Sun and Scorpio card. But we do have, as I said, Mercury and Venus there in Scorpio. It's a lot about remembering things, remembering old loves, remembering the past, remembering when times were better, remembering when times were more innocent. And this is what you're doing. This is a card that's quite cleansing. So I said to you, Aries, that you might be thinking about old lovers. Maybe even an old love might come back in contact with you. Maybe you just feel them, sense them, go through your old documents and find photographs of them or mementos, souvenirs, old family photographs or things like that, or old love letters even. You may find them. And it just brings back this flood of memory to you. And these things are coming up in order for you, as I said to you, to reclaim your power. If there was any situation where there was a bad breakup or where you were wronged, this is coming up for review in order to be healed. But on a literal case, excuse me, Aries, it could mean an old love literally reappearing. Now, this is the holiday season, so many of you are getting back in touch with old friends or going back home or doing things like that, and you could kind of bump into somebody from the past. So maybe there might be strong feelings between you and this person from the past when you see them. So again, remember what I said at the start of the video, it's good to have these strong feelings and vent them, but don't add one more thing to your list that you regret, okay? Or that might make you even lose your reputation a little bit. So just show caution. But this is a beautiful card. This is a Sun card. And when we have the Sun, it means there's a lot of healing, a lot of strength, a lot of good vibes essentially around you at the moment. Around you and love too. I think it's because you're bringing back a lot of balance, because you're cleaning things up. You see, Scorpio will always go to the depths and clean it out in order to bring back that sense of purity. And I think that's what you're doing in all relationships, particularly in love relationships. The depth has to happen. The real intimacy has to happen in order to clear the air, to have that thunderstorm moment so you can return to something purer and more innocent. But sure. So again, on a literal level though, some of you might find a love from the past who could be an earth sign. And I'm talking somebody with a strong Libra influence. Sorry, not Libra, Virgo, beg your pardon. That's Virgo, sun, moon or ascendant. They could be somebody that comes back from your past to show themselves to you again. Could also be somebody from the past that you worked with, somebody that you had been intensely involved in some work project or some intense thing that you both did together, that you were both working on, and you might see them again and they might show up over this holiday season, and you could find a little bit of a flutter in your heart, or wherever you decide to flutter. You might feel that this month, Aries. So just know that for those of you who are working very, very hard, working on projects, working on really getting something that you're doing shaped up, something that you're trying to master, something that you're trying to create and bring into shape, perhaps to make money from, this could be a period where you have to kind of clean it up, tidy it up, and be a real serious critic of what you're doing in order to make it more meaningful and perfect in some way. So that's a good thing for those of you working on something, some project or some money-making thing. Now, here we have the Queen of Cups, another water card. So the Scorpio is really affecting you this month. This is water, which is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. And this Queen is very receptive. Like you, Venus in Scorpio, Venus attracts love. and Scorpio is that water sign. And you'll be attracting people by being somebody who's a good listener, being somebody who's prepared to listen to another person's crisis, being somebody who's prepared to maybe have a glass of wine or two and sit down and maybe have that moment with somebody where they open up on a very deep level and you're being receptive with them. And you could find a great love that happens between you and somebody that, it's that feeling, Aries, you must have experienced this before. You know when you're in a zone with somebody and you don't start off thinking that you could have a great connection with this person, but yet they open up and they talk about some crisis that they've experienced or something that they're going through, and suddenly the conversation changes and you say, this person is much deeper than I thought. And you listen and you listen and you invite them in. You invite them in, and it might be a connection between you and another person. It could be love, but it could be just a friendship or just somebody in general that you never knew they had this depth to them. You never saw it before. You never experienced this with anybody else before in this way. And this somehow brings you a kind of happiness. But I will say, because it's the holiday season now, I know not all of you drink, but for those who do, it seems that it could all happen under the influence of a glass of wine or two, you know, or a glass of whatever it is you drink, or something else. But it's the depth, attracting love. You've got, if you look up at the row there, you've cups, and then you've earth card, and then you've cups and cups. So sandwiched between all of this attraction and dreams coming true, which is the 9 of cups, and recalling somebody from the past, it could really be, and I think we said this last month too, an earth sign, most probably Virgo, but somebody again, same as last month, who is a hard worker, somebody who's very serious minded, somebody who's probably a business person, somebody who is very logical, somebody who is a bit dark and moody. Yeah. And so, they're not living in their mind all the time. They're not very emotionally dramatic all the time, but they have this smouldering sensuality and mood underneath them. Now again, I know not everybody is looking for love. If you're already in a relationship, it could be that smouldering energy that's between you and your partner, or indeed you could meet a new fascinating person who draws this out, it's like a game must be played out and a chess piece is moved in front of you through somebody that allows you to play this deep receptive mood out. So it could be a lover, or it could be just a person. Yeah, but certainly deep conversations, deep things happening. Now as we get towards the mid-month, here's you being handed a challenge. And the challenge is how to make money doing something that you really care about, something meaningful, something with purpose, something that you can literally wake up in the morning and say, this is who I am and this is what I do, and I'm going to make money from this. I'm going to be proud of the work I do. Yeah, with the energy there, with the sun in Capricorn in the 10th house, it could be a time, Aries, where you're really saying, I'm a responsible person. I know what I'm doing. I'm prepared to put the hard work in. But am I prepared to put it into just any old thing? I've got the work ethic. I've got the energy. I've got the drive. I've got the determination to win and make money. But now what am I missing? I'm missing the absolute belief in what I do and the purpose of why I do the thing I do. So it could be a time where you're saying, I've got to really up my game in my career. I've got to believe in it, and I've got to do this from a place of meaning and purpose. And once you do that, that is a win. That is where you bring more balance back into your soul, into your life in general. But what you'll see is, she's acting like a guardian, because I'll show you this. As you're going through that great big balancing act, as you're digging through the things energy between you and other people, energy between you and your deep dark psyche, all the stuff that you're bringing up to balance. Yeah, it's a big month, Aries. It's big energetically. It's big for you. You'll see that the Queen of Swords is defending this process. This is an Aquarius card. So you could have a physical Aquarius in your life defending you, somebody who's on your side, somebody who has your back. But what she's doing is she's saying, enough, enough, enough. Go through this journey, Aries. And this could be your own inner, wisdom saying this to you. Go through this deep journey, Aries. The stuff that's going to be thrown in your face, the things that you don't want to see in yourself and other people this month, look at it, deal with it, and slash it. When it arrives, cut it down. Because you have to do this. She's cold, she's hard, and it's the world and her experiences that have made her like that. It's feeling disempowered once too many times that made her, harden her heart, put on her heavy armor and say, you will not get into my heart again. You will not touch me on a deep level again. I am just going to be practical and just go through this life because, how would you say, go through this life realizing that other people are going to hurt you and I have to defend myself against them. And she's saying, I don't want to be this anymore. Allow the things to come up and deal with them. Allow me to be the one who cuts them down. And this is kind of like you, Aries. She's saying, this is who this is who you've made me become. At least give me the satisfaction of knocking it down. Oh, Aries, I felt that. That was an emotion. There was a mood right there. That's it. When all the stuff comes up, when all the secrets are revealed, when all the truths come out, when you suddenly see how much you mean or don't mean to other people, how much you've hurt yourself to kind of echo how other people have hurt you, keeping that going, keeping it perpetuated, and somehow the answer seems to be where you say, as I said, you've turned me into this hard person life, you've turned me into this, give me the satisfaction of knocking it down and tearing it down. So that's how you win. That's how you break through all the things that have been binding you, all the things that have been blinding you to your future vision of success, to where you need to go in your life. It's your life. Nobody can tell you how to lead it. You're breaking that down. You're saying, I have a unique life, so therefore I must have a unique experience, free from the influences of my past, free from what other people expect me to do. I can't go through life turning a blind eye to things that make me angry, turning a blind eye to relationships that cut me down or disempower me, turning a blind eye to family members who need me to stay in a corner and don't come out of that, turning a blind eye to the hurts of my past. I can't do it anymore. I've got to be the one as a protector of myself to cut through that. And it will get you out of that feeling of loss. Five, the things that we hold or the things that we lose. And here you're saying, I get now why I always had this feeling of loss, this feeling of being an outsider within my family, sometimes being an outsider even in relationships, with friends, in work, feeling like being on the outside because you were too perhaps trapped and hurt in some way to get in there and play the real big game with your big dreams. And you're saying that was a loss. I let myself down because I didn't want to play their game, because I don't like their game. But I also see that when I stood on the outside, I wasn't even playing my game. So I was losing either way. So in order for me to balance my life's purpose, balance my work, balance the income coming into me, to see my bank balance rise up, I've got to say, okay, if I'm not playing their game, then I'm going to play my game. And I'm not going to be left on the outside struggling. And you certainly won't, because magic is coming, the magician coming to open doors for you, give you new opportunities towards the end of the month. That's certainly going to happen. I'm just looking down there to see that, Uranus is in Aries, and he's opposing Venus. He's kind of doing that thing that we spoke about already of saying, you're either with me or you're against me. I'm going doing my own thing. I'm being a pioneer. I'm going to be a bit of a renegade in my life. I'm going to branch out, break out and do my own thing here. Are you with me or are you against me? And it's like you're going to do it anyway, come hell or high water. And the magician said, this is the magic that you needed. This is what we've been trying to get you to do. It's not about getting rid of people. It's not about ditching relationships. It's not about that. It was always about you being yourself and standing up and doing your own thing. And then everybody else falls in line with you, rather than you feeling, I don't want to fall in line with them, but then I've nothing going on with myself that I can enjoy falling in line with. So he's saying, the doors are open now. Come on, Aries, choose, make your choice. You're passionate about something and you're good at it. So run with this, run towards where? The future, with a great sense of optimism. We've 2 Aquarius cards. We've also a Gemini here. The air signs are very key for you this month, particularly Aquarius and somewhat Gemini. Run with this. There's magic here. Magic, the magician. And also this, the star, is magic. Magic comes when you believe in the journey you're going on. And this is why we're unpacking this. This is why my videos are long, because we go through this process of unraveling and untying what exactly it is that's going on this month. And all the journey, all the brooding, all the thunderstorm that you feel rumbling, the unhappiness, the dissatisfaction, that unless you butt horns with somebody, that something's got to give. And it's saying, yeah, the thing that had to give was you had to break the things that were holding you back, the deep psychological things. You had to bring balance back into all of your relationships, even work, family, friends, all relationships. And you had to stand again and trust in your own magic that's going to bring you to the future. Because that's ultimately the gift. The gift is the new vision, 9th house energy. That's the gift. The gift is Mars going in and killing your self-doubt. The gift is the energy in Scorpio, Mercury and Venus, watching how you relate with other people and seeing if you're losing power there, or if you can bring in new people to get power from them in some way. Because this is how you learn to trust in your purpose for your future, for your magic. And that's the gift that's been handed to you from the 12th house. The new sense of purpose, which was always about you. Going it your way, doing it in your own magical time, and trusting it without fail. I mean, Aries, if you don't trust where you're going, then why should anybody else? You're the visionary. You're the one who sees ahead, more so now, because of the gift of the 9th house, gift of new purpose. Believe it. Believe you can do it. And then the great inner wisdom comes, the great heart energy comes. See, she's cold, and at the end, the mastering this, softer emotions, more in tune with how you really feel about where you want your life to go with your new purpose. And with a great sense of love for what you're doing. If you love where you're being brought in your career, in your relationships, in this new vision of your future, if you love it, you've mastered it. If you trust it without any doubt, as you would a new love, somebody that you're absolutely passionately in love with, when you watch them, you just believe and trust because they can do no wrong. This is the same love that you must have for your vision, for your future. You must love it in that way that you would defend it at all costs. You must love it more than anybody. So Aries, that's quite a deep month you're going through energetically. I do see that it's quite deep, but it's powerful. And I really, really wish you all the best with that. And remember, do try to keep your secrets, especially if there's a glass of champagne at an office party this month. So I'm going to leave it at that, Aries. If this is the first time seeing my readings, then please do subscribe and join me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. And do come back next month to see how this journey unfolds for you. And also, don't forget that there is the deep read. I was very, very happy to see all the Arians come join me for the very first deep read last month. So I've linked everything below for the deep read, where we go into themes of relationships, career, money, other things. We dig just that bit deeper into all of the things, and it's worth exploring perhaps. I have it linked below. It's a Vimeo video, so I cordially invite you to that. So have a wonderful, wonderful festive season, and I hope the glass of wine or the glass of champagne is nice. Not too nice that you want to take 4, 5, 6 of them along with the flaming sambucas, but enjoy every bit of it. And until next month, my beautiful, I'll leave you with a big kiss. Mwah! And all my love. Bye, Aries.